Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today with the proclamations and light ups. As you all knew, June will be here before we know it. So something new this year. Can everyone see my screen, just to be sure? Julio, yeah?
Yes, you're
okay,
good.
Cool. Thank you so much. New this year, we'll be able to track through the website. So when you reach out to have a proclamation or a light up, you go to the pre-event, which is the link right there. And then even if you aren't successful, you can still record that in the post-event. And also in the post-event, you'll be able to post your photo, add a photo release, and then this way we'll be able to track it so much better than in past years. So that's really exciting. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning. Many of you already know this, but it's a good reminder. So a proclamation is an official designation. Excuse me. Let me just move this over here. So a proclamation is an official designation of an event. Proclamations are a great way to educate the public about a specific issue and bring attention to a cause. It's an effective tool for gaining public recognition of your event because it carries the full support of a key government official in your state or community. And right here, you can find your chapter signatures. If you're not in a chapter, you can always use the 25th letterhead when asking for a proclamation. I found though that most of it is via email, so it doesn't often give you an opportunity to put your letterhead on the top. So this is the wording for a proclamation. Most of it is in these whereas, and then we're asking for June to be recognized as Scleroderma Awareness Month. And this wording can be given to any government official that is willing to do a proclamation. And then often they'll ask for a brief history. So I'll just briefly go over the first paragraph. In 1998, two foundations merged, Scleroderma Federation and United Scleroderma Foundation, with the vision to diminish competition and duplication of programs, services, and research. Without their vision, commitment, and passion for serving the scleroderma community, the National Scleroderma Foundation would not be here today. This year, we celebrate our 25th anniversary. If they're asking for the history, you can just copy and paste this. Everybody that attended will receive the slides as well as the recording. Okay, so who can issue proclamations? Governors, county executives, mayors, state legislators, municipalities, counties, cities, or towns. So how do you contact these officials? So for city proclamations, a mayor, city manager, or city marshal can be the person to sign. For counties, it's most likely going to be the county commissioner. You do not have to have both the city and the county proclamations. You can decide which entity would be more impactful in your community. Another option is to look on the Contact Us tab. This page may allow you to write a brief message such as, how do I ask a mayor to issue a proclamation declaring June as Scleroderma Awareness Month? And then right here, I have a link to all the information requests that are required by state. So I'll just go there real quick, show you. Okay, so for instance, I have listed every state and the notice that they want. So for Alabama, you have to submit 30 days prior, if not sooner. And that's all listed by each state. In addition to seeking the specific guidelines for requesting a proclamation, be sure to inquire about the preferred format. This information will allow you to begin to draft an effective proclamation. So when I mentioned the preferred format, that just means historically they use the whereas form, but some actually are requiring just a simple letter. If you encounter that, please let me know and I can help you with that. So as I mentioned, each city, county, and state will have their own guidelines and procedures for signing proclamations. The easiest way is to research your city, county, or state's guidelines is to look on its website and research the term proclamation. For some larger cities and counties, they will have proclamations guidelines listed. Smaller cities and counties may provide a contact information on the website, or you might have to call and email for your contact person. So obviously we want you to make an event out of it. We want all the photos, we want all the excitement. So follow the guidelines that you're given as to whom and how many you can bring to the proclamation meeting or signing event. Notify your local paper, notify us, of course, and distribute printed copies to the local reporters. Have the proclamation photo enlarged for display at a news conference and or in a prominent place. Send copies to local newspapers. As with any media piece, it demonstrates its importance to the media's audience by including local statistics. So then you might want to mention how many folks are in your chapter, how many support groups you have, and anything else that you think might be important to share. So before I move on to how to light it teal, I'm going to open it up for some questions.
Yes, Karen, there is one question in the Q&A. Someone asked, will they receive this deck for reference?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. The slide deck will go out to all registered, and then it'll also be, it's recorded, so it'll also be on our YouTube channel.
Awesome. Thank you. That's the only question as of right now.
Okay, great. So then we'll move on how to light it teal. So at the end, Lucille's going to share with us where she got these awesome Amazon glow sticks to light up Cleveland. And I'll also open it up. I want to hear from folks share their successes, tips, and tricks. During the Awareness Month in June, we'll be lighting up across the USA. Why are we doing that? To raise awareness about scleroderma. This year, the theme is Let's Talk About Scleroderma, and we'll be using the hashtag #TealTalk. So anything that you post, please use the hashtag #TealTalk, and then we'll be able to reshare as well. So decide where you'd like to light it teal. This might sound obvious, but not knowing who you're going to approach will keep you on track. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be a famous landmark that lights up. It could be your town hall, town gazebo, local shops and restaurants, outdoor lights. Get creative and have fun. So then you'll want to contact the landmark where you want to light it teal. Approach the landmark as early as possible, as there are many other charity events taking place in June and throughout the year. A phone call is always best, but you could also check on the website of the landmark if it has one for a suitable email address. This could get tricky, who to ask. It'll vary depending on the size of the building. So look for the customer service, operations department, or publicity department. All right, so the landmark has agreed to light it teal. What do I do now? This is awesome. Make sure you have all the details of the best contact at the landmark. And in case you have further questions, you can also approach and keep the details on file for next year. And then obviously remember to record in the on the website. So remember to do, yes, I've asked, and here's my success, and here are my photos. All right, I went through that super fast. My apologies, but I would like to open it up for questions. I would love to hear from people, share your success stories, and any tips that you might have for others who are new at this or looking to get more information. So go right ahead, everybody.
I'll start with one of the questions in the chat, and then I'll sort of provide a little bit of direction on how people can raise their hands to slide over to talk.
Perfect. Thanks,
Travis. He says, are there any specific states that proclamation months are needed?
Well, yes, absolutely. So it doesn't hurt to multiple ask, but we would love to have states that we don't necessarily have a presence. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking states like West Virginia, Maryland, where California, where we're looking to, you know, have more of a presence.
Sure. Karen. For those who have additional questions, you can either hit the raise the hand feature, and I'll see your hand raised, and I'll slide over your ability to talk. Or you're welcome to, of course, continue typing your questions in the chat, which there There's another question that I'll read while we wait for some people maybe to raise their hand. Ziva has asked, if the state already has a proclamation, do you reapply?
Yes, great question. You do have to reapply every year. It's not automatic that you will, if you've had it in past years, you have to reapply. That's a great question.
Okay. Liz has asked, when should we begin to post proclamations, and should we gather all and start sharing them?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. As soon as possible. I know Ohio, you've already hit the ground running, so that's fantastic. At this point, we would just ask you to go ahead and write in that link where you've already asked, and then also follow up if you've already been approved for proclamations or light-ups.
There are not any additional questions in the chat, and I don't see anyone else's hands raised virtually either. So at this time, there are no additional questions.
Okay. Just asking Lucille, who I know is on the call, to put in the chat where you can find the glow sticks to light up. Or maybe Liz knows. Oh, can you unmute Lucille?
Working on it.
All right, thank you.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, fabulous. I don't know what's going on here, but there we go. Nothing was working. So what we did in Cleveland, we took their first stage lighting sheets, teal, and you don't want to really put them on anything very hot or they'll melt.
Oh, okay.
So you want to be really careful. You can cut them up. They're on Amazon.
So on Amazon, you just search stage lighting teal?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. They just come in like long sheets, and you can cut them up if they're small lights or larger lights. We lit up our house. So we just had a lot of fun with it in Ohio. So yeah,
you guys had some great pictures.
Yeah, we have fun.
Liz put in the chat where you can find them. Thank you.
I can't even see the chat, so
yeah, no worries.
I don't know what's going on with my computer today, so we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Thank you, Liz.
Thanks, Lucille. Any other questions or recommendations for folks? All right, seems pretty quiet, but as I mentioned, everyone's going to get the deck, as well as all the links to assist you.
We do have a couple of questions that just came in.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Eva Marie has just asked, as an advocate in NYC, I suggest you make a call for the state rep and for their requirements. NYS has a lot of red tape, and all the requests can be sent via website. It doesn't happen on written request immediate. So I think just answering some of the earlier.
Right. That's really good advice, Eva. I live in New York, and I submitted to the governor's office, and I just got an autoresponder. So not sure if it's worth following up, but in many cases, it is worth a follow-up. Karen Fergal says, where are these whereas statements? So this will be in the deck, and you'll just have to change it to your state. And typically when you do email like the governor, you're just requesting a proclamation, and you're asking for June to be designated as Awareness Month. So you could either copy paste it, or likely they'll have like their own whereas copy where they're just going to plug in June as being recognized as Scleroderma Awareness Month.
Mary has asked, do you have a presence in North Carolina?
We do. We have some support groups, but Mary, if you're in North Carolina, we would love for you to go ahead and write and ask for a proclamation. And in the presentation, there's a link to every state. So you can just click on that link and request the proclamation. Oh, and then Eva says she already submitted to the New York State Governor in writing already. Eva, do you think that makes a difference if it's in writing or if it's in the email format? Can you unmute Eva?
I sure can.
Thank you.
There you go, Eva. You should be able to talk now.
Hello. I learned that the hard way last year, even though you could do it through the website. I ended up calling and they advised me that it had to be done in writing. They did tell me what I needed. So my only suggestion is if you're in a big city or a big state, just check the requirements. You will know if a state will accept a website request if they have a specific proclamation form. For example, New Jersey, Connecticut, you can go to their website and you could request a proclamation. And by the way, I've taken care of both those states already.
Awesome.
So basically, that would give you a heads up. So if you go to, say, Arkansas and there's not a proclamation form and just a email website kind of question form, reach out to that number in the governor's office, more so the governor than a city, and find out what the request. And usually they will ask for like a folder with the organization's mission, which Karen, you have that you can hand to any advocate. And I just print it out, put it in a folder with my card, and I print out the proclamation wording. I've gone further with putting that on a small flash drive for New York State so they could just plug it in so that there won't be any typos in it. But that's madness. Just a suggestion.
I love it. That's really good advice. So Jill's asking for the nonprofit EIN number. Jill, I'll email that to you after. Oh, absolutely. So Desi, we do have a template if it's necessary to make the request in writing. So you'll be able to copy and paste off the slides and put it into like a Word document, but I'll also send all of that like separately, all the separate documents. Lucille or Eva, do you have any other tips or tricks for the community? Can you
just reach out to, especially for the lightings, even if you just tell your neighbors, your community. Amazon has teal green light bulbs. I light my porch up teal for the whole month of June. And I try to encourage some of my neighbors to do it. Even the simplest little thing as decorating a tree brings some sort of awareness. So you don't have to always think really big. You could start on a small scale, see how you feel. And as you get that emotion of seeing people asking questions, your drive will get increasingly larger and you'll want to hit the big ones. So if there's anybody in New York City who wants to join my advocacy efforts, you could reach out to Karen and put you in touch with me. I'm willing to work with others who want to scout out different areas. So, and I'm sure there's other people on this call that should reach out to Karen and say, how can I make my efforts better? Do you know other people within the state? That we're out there. You just got to find us.
That's right. That's right. Can you unmute Liz, Roz?
Sure will.
Thank you.
There you go, Liz. You should be able to talk.
Okay, I was going to say similarly to Eva is that, and I think Lucille's having trouble getting unmuted, but she might have something to add. You know, our efforts, and we kind of preach it, you know, all the time, is that they don't have to be a huge effort. I mean, Lucille and her group of gals went out with those little, light covers and just some light, like string lights. It was that simple, and found like the coolest, monuments like the CLE in Cleveland on the lake. They made cute signs. And we had so much fun posting those and got so many, likes and, attention on our Facebook. And it was just really cool. So you don't have to think like, large scale. We do have like, some towers being lit, like the Terminal Tower in Cleveland, but that took me maybe 5 minutes to do that application. And it was free and it was simple. So, I mean, yeah, again, Lucille and I would be happy to be a resource for anyone with ideas. So similarly to, like what Ava said, it's just, it doesn't have to be a difficult process. Sometimes people are intimidated. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Liz. Lucille or Eva, any parting thoughts?
I actually do have one more thing to say.
Oh, good.
If you're running late and your state requires anything, include in your request that you would accept the proclamation for any month. Just having our senators, our governors acknowledging our disease and giving us a proclamation is still huge kudos. So if they don't want to give it to you in June, take it in July, take it whenever. I mean, it doesn't have to exactly be June. We share our advocacy efforts with Pride Month, and it's not very easy in New York City because, Pride is bigger than Scleroderma is, and so requests get denied on that fact. But take it whenever they're willing to give it to you. Each state, like I said, has their own, they support different types of things. It could get lost in the shuffle. Just accept it whenever. Like my mayor did not give it to me for the actual proclamation, World Scleroderma Day, but he gave us a proclamation for the day of our walk because he was supposed to show up there and he didn't. So that is my biggest thing, is take whatever support you can get in whatever month you can get it. It does help with bills later on in the future for our own, fighting to get things passed in Congress, research bills, whatever it is. Having support in that state makes a huge difference overall.
Excellent. Really good advice. We've got 2 hands raised. Liz, go right ahead.
I'm raising it for Lucille. She's having trouble.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Lucille. I get it.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of everybody. Get creative. The sheets, the teal sheets that were lighting up Cleveland, it just came to us, and it, just get creative, make signs, just
Have fun.
just use your brain to kind of just go over everything that you might want to
Light up.
or do, or signs, or posters that you're on your lawn. I mean, whatever you want to do. I don't know. Maybe there's spray paint out there for your grass. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just but just think outside the box.
Right. And I think this community is excellent at that. I saw Gaitha raised her hand. Could you unmute her?
Hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Gaitha. How are you?
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself as the newbie in the group, but I'm going to be representing West Virginia and possibly Pennsylvania and Maryland as well, since I'm right in the crux of those 3 states. So yeah, so I'm really excited, and I really have no idea what's going on. So I'm sure that Karen and I are going to have some meetings, and But yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting these proclamations in these states and hopefully get involved in the light up in June. So
Awesome. We're so excited to
Yeah.
have you. So a
Good.
little fun backstory. Eva knows everybody, as everyone knows. So she connected us with Gaitha, and Gaitha was willing to do a virtual Senate meeting in West Virginia, which was amazing. So
Yes,
that's how we
that
got
was an
connected.
awesome, that was an awesome experience. I'm really glad we were able to do that. So
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
All right. Eva, go right ahead.
I'm going to piggyback off of Lucille because after seeing Ohio signs and I couldn't get my publisher to print them fast enough, I went out and got a bottle of teal spray paint and made my own signs, and they were a huge hit. And they will come along with me this year again. But I wanted to also piggyback. If you have children or you have friends and family that have children, a huge thing is to go to their little leagues and ask them, would they be willing to wear teal socks for their game and raise some awareness? It's really done on a simple platform, and usually whoever sponsors those teams, I'm actually going to be working with a little league in my area that my friend has a son newly there, and they're actually looking into teal socks to give us a shout out. So, you know, thinking off the spectrum, Lucille's right. Think of weird things that you wouldn't think of. Even reach out to like your local Tribune paper sort of things. They'll run a small corner ad for you for no cost and let it print for that month. So that's, you know, something to do as well.
Great. That's really cool. I didn't even think of the baseball thing. I'm gonna approach the team. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for everyone for participating. Thanks, Roz, for your assistance, and Julio for your assistance. And I will have everything to everybody within the end of the week. So by Friday, everyone should have all their materials, if not sooner.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.